Well, we finally found it. A Ranger that's not that bad.
Today we're looking at the Ranger Subclass Desert Wind Ranger.
Welcome to the Homebrew Crew. I'm Tony, this is Sean, and today we are going over the Desert Wind Ranger, which is our first Ranger class.
Yeah, very exciting. We don't get a ton of Ranger stuff in submitted, and admittedly, you know, kind of within the D&D community, I think there's a bit of a consensus when it comes to the Ranger that it's, you know, maybe not as, you know, well-fleshed and good as some of the other classes. However, you know, with everything in D&D, I think there's something special in everything.
Now, you do know that Mike Merles himself said he wasn't happy with how the Ranger came out.
Right,
and is
exactly.
interested in making a new one.
Yeah.
So,
we're
with you, Mike.
Yeah, and it doesn't bode well for people, and I know you're out there. I know there are Rangers out there that love the Ranger and play it, and hey, you know what? If you love it, more power to you. We're going to go ahead and give you this new subclass.
Yeah, it's just really hard finding a good homebrew one is the thing.
Yeah.
Rangers are specified into very specific things. They go into favorite terrain, favorite enemy, and all that. And sometimes you get thrown into a situation where you're not playing, you know, you're not playing up against what you want.
Yeah.
This one, however, is really, really cool.
Yes.
This is the Desert Wind Ranger, and this is by, who did this one?
Yeah, this one's by
Azzi.
Azzi.
Okay.
Now, one thing I want to point out with this subclass is that, like you mentioned earlier, sometimes you feel limited as the Ranger when you kind of make your character and you're set to hunt this one thing, or you're good in this one terrain, and you don't end up in that terrain or enemy, you kind of feel a little discouraged. Thankfully, this Ranger, while it's flavored in a certain way, it can really be utilized in any setting. So initially, when you get Flame's Blessing at level 3, you actually have resistance to fire damage, and you can travel comfortably in very hot temperatures. If you already don't have desert as favorite terrain, you can basically add it as favorite terrain.
See, now that's a good thing that plays off of what the Ranger actually is.
Yes.
He is a tactical and a person who can maneuver different types of land.
Right.
The fact that he's not affected by the difficult terrain, these kind of things, whatever. And who doesn't want to be able to walk into 200-degree heat?
Yeah, and I was about to say fire damage resistance is pretty nice.
It's like Arizona.
Yeah, right.
Of course,
exactly.
that's a dry heat. But then it actually builds upon that. And every time we look at a class that builds upon different mechanics, we're always impressed by it.
Yeah, some of the best examples on our channel have been classes that actually use abilities that build off each other. So starting with Burning Blade, you can use a bonus action to start dealing an extra 1d4 fire damage, and you can actually maintain this, kind of like maintaining concentration on the spell. Now, initially, it might not seem like a lot, but as with everything, 1d4 fire damage can add up over time, and it's important to know that it does work into the later features.
Absolutely, and if you look at this here, it says you may use your bonus action to turn on your turn to cause all your attacks to deal an extra 1d4 damage.
Yeah.
So if you're doing multiple attacks with that, each one of those attacks has another d4.
Precisely.
It's not just like a green flame blade, which would do a little bit more. Of course, if you did pair it with green flame blade. Anyway.
Ideas are cooking.
But that's really cool with it. And it actually makes a hell of a lot of sense with it. No pun intended. Of course. This is a very hot topic. I'm sorry, I can't help with the puns. Leaping Flame is the next thing you
Leaping
get
Flame
at
is pretty cool.
7th level.
Yeah,
right?
so basically, if someone misses an attack on you, you can use your reaction to teleport and reappear 15 feet away. It's kind of like a subdued Misty Step as a reaction, but it's important to know it's any attack. So if even someone tries to use a spell on you or something, you can kind of like kind of appear nowhere.
Yeah, and then you appear. It's reappearing 15 feet away.
Yeah.
So you're out of their range. You're
Right.
not doing they're not doing an opportunity attack against you.
Exactly.
Again, plays to the Ranger's strong suits, being able to move, being able to manipulate the land that's around them, which is very important. Then you move into Lingering Inferno. Now, this one builds even further upon that.
Yeah, so Lingering Inferno is going to build off your Burning Blade feature. So once you actually have Burning Blade, you can basically create this aura.
Of blistering heat.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So anyone within that aura does have to make a con save. They do take fire damage equal to your wisdom modifier, and you also get another ability. While you have the aura up, you can use an action to basically do this like line charge and do a single attack on basically anything, you know, in that line with advantage. And it's really cool because like you're kind of building off of doing the extra flame damage, and now you have this extra ability where not only can you kind of do some, you know, a little bit of like aura damage, you can kind of do this like nice straight line attack that does even more damage.
Yeah, and all the monsters are around you going, is it hot in here?
Right.
Did someone turn off the air conditioning? But no, I think that's a great thing. And then the last thing is Rising Phoenix. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another Phoenix class, this is going to be a thing where, he dies and he can come back from the ashes or appear somewhere else. No, that's not what this is. This is a move called the Rising Phoenix.
Yes, so basically you are able to replace any of your walking speed with a flying speed. However, it is limited. You can't go higher than 15 feet off the ground, and you have to end your turn on ground or else you fall. No magical hovering or anything like that.
But it does make some really cool leaps and twists and turns in the air as you're going by.
Yeah.
You're basically using the heated air to levitate yourself.
Right, yeah, because heat rises and it kind of goes along with that idea. Now it's cool because you have to make sure that your Lingering Inferno is active. So in order to use Rising Phoenix, you have to first use Burning Blade, then you have to use Lingering Inferno, then you can actually use Rising Phoenix. So it's a good example of having all your skills utilized and working together. And with Rising Phoenix, it actually kind of gives a lot of opportunity depending on the combat encounter. You can fly up, do Lingering Inferno down a single line, and then have your Burning Blade do extra damage.
Actually, what's interesting about that is you can actually hit flying enemies that way.
Exactly.
It's just the thing of, okay, fine. So I'm going to pull out my blade like this. I'm going to make the blistering heat, and then I'm going to rise like the Phoenix and do that straight line straight across like that. It kind of reminds me of have you ever seen with Mega Man X being able to dash in air?
Oh, right, exactly.
Same thing.
Like
I
a slash
that.
across. Now, the one thing that I do like about the subclass is that it actually covers every aspect that the Ranger has. It covers their proficiency in combat, it covers their skill at being able to travel in the world, and it covers their ability to basically be very mobile compared to any other class in this game.
Yeah, and it actually, if you look at it, it actually goes over an elemental kind of feel to it too. In fact, when we were looking at this, I don't see a Ranger in its Tolkien sense.
Right.
We're seeing that with the arrow. No, I see this as maybe, kind of a turban on, maybe a sash across his
a
face,
Bedouin style
a scimitar
kind
of thing. I think this is a really, really great flavored class above everything else.
Yeah, definitely. And along with the other Ranger features that you get, the damage is definitely going to add up. Essentially, you're going to be a very skilled mobile fighter. And the one thing that I do like is that without kind of being obvious at first, this essentially does kind of turn you into this Phoenix-themed kind of character without being overly Phoenix. You're not going to be coming back from the ashes. You're not going to be flying all over the place.
But you're not going to be remaking a movie and putting it out again like the X-Men did.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Don't see that movie.
But anyways, the nice thing about this is that it's still flavored towards that theme, towards that creature, while still maintaining the Ranger aspect of this class.
Now, if you've got something that's themed and exciting and you want to share it, go ahead. Send it down here at dmbrewcrew@gmail.com. We'd be happy to take a look. If we really enjoy it, we may actually make a video out of it.
Or we can use it on our every other week stream called The Maw. We have The Maw every other Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, and things like the Desert Wind Ranger and other homebrew creations can be used, play tested for you to use later on at home. And as always, we do want to thank all of our Patreons who have been supporting us. Every dollar does go help to more equipment, more things to review, and helps with our costs that we incur with running the channel. So for everyone that does or wants to help us out, we do appreciate it.
That's right. And remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are homebrewed. So until next time, keep brewing.